Today I'm going to teach you how you can create this bouncy camera shake warp transition inside of After Effects. Let's go. What's up guys, my name is Evan Huynh. Welcome to 11% Tutorials. Let's get straight into the effect. So once you have your two clips in your timeline, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select your second clip and we are going to bring it forward about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames. Around 7 to 8 frames, around that area. By the way, we're in a composition setting of 24 frames per second. Then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our effects and we're going to search for a turbulent displace effect. And by the way, we're going to be applying all these effects directly onto the second clip because it's going to be like a shake transition that's going to slide down. So if you want to add this to an adjustment layer so you can like possibly duplicate it for other effects, I recommend doing so, but I'm going to be applying all these effects directly on this layer. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the drop down on our top second layer and we are going to hit the drop down on turbulence displace and we are going to first increase the size to about like 159, and then what we're going to do is we're going to change the displacement from turbulent to bulge, and this is going to create like this weird like bulge effect, obviously, hence the name. Now I'm going to add my first set of keyframes. At the very beginning of the clip, I'm going to hit a keyframe on the evolution and then I'm going to go all the way to the end of the clip, and then I just want you to crank up that evolution like a ton so that you like get 3 times 15 degrees. Let's try that. Actually maybe even a little bit faster. Basically what's going on here is the more you increase the evolution, the more the effect is going to like move faster. So we just want a really fast moving like wave. I think that's pretty good. So you can see right here, I went all the way up to 5 times 15 degrees and that creates this very fast-paced wavy effect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and keyframe the amount. So I'm going to go to the very beginning of the clip. I'm going to hit a keyframe on the amount at 50, and let's actually increase the amount just a tad bit more to around like 80, and then I'm going to go about, let's say 20 frames after, and I'm going to change the amount all the way down to 0. And now you can see if we play this out, boom, we have this weird like warp bubbly effect. And to make it a little bit smoother, I'm going to select both of these keyframes, right click them, keyframe assistant, and let's click easy ease. Or you can hit the graph icon right here and you can see we have these little anchor keyframes that we can like just drag to make the effect a lot smoother. Boom, there you go. Now let's go ahead and apply some glow. I usually like to apply glow at the very end. I'm going to my effects, by the way, and I'm searching for just the standard glow effect and applying that to my second layer. But the reason being so is because we're going to be adding some camera shake right after this, and I want the glow under the camera shake. So now I'm going to turn up that glow radius to like 75%, and then I'm going to increase the threshold or decrease the threshold percentage a bunch to around like 28. It really depends on your clip, so just adjust to your liking. Now I'm going to go to the very beginning. I'm going to hit a keyframe at the glow intensity, and then I'm going to go to that very same end keyframe on the displacement, on the turbulent displacement that we ended. And I'm gonna hit the drop down and glow just so you can see it. And then I'm gonna go to the very end of the turbulent displace like warpness, and I'm gonna change the intensity down to 0. So now you can see if we play this out, boom, we have this nice glow like fade in and it kind of fades out. I'm going to also hit the key graph editor just so I can see these keyframes, and I'm going to select the bottom one and hit this easy ease keyframe so that we turned it into like an easy ease, so it's just going to be a lot smoother. And now we play that out, boom, the glow like fades out a little bit faster but more smoothly. Now let's click off this graph editor, and now we're going to finally apply our transform effect by going to the effects and searching for transform, and let's apply this to our second clip layer once again. Now this is the actual camera shake part, and this is why we moved our clip 7 frames ahead in the very beginning. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the, actually let's go to the very end of our first clip right here. So we're at the first clip end, and then we're hovering right somewhere in the middle of our second clip. I'm going to hit a keyframe on the position, and then I'm going to uncheck use composition shutter angle, and let's turn the shutter angle up to like 220. The more you turn up your shutter angle, the more motion blur you're going to have. Now, you don't have to do this option because we're in After Effects and they actually have a camera shake like motion blur option, which you can check on and off right here. But either way you do it, you're going to get camera shake. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the very beginning of my clip, and I'm just going to move the position all the way up to the top. So I'm just moving that Y position all the way to the top till we can't see the clip. And now if we play it out, boom, we have this like very fast movement, but it's still very linear and like robotic light. So let's go ahead and hit the drop down once again. We're going to be adding some easy ease keyframes. So I'm right clicking these keyframes on our transform, keyframe assistant, and easy ease. And now if we play it out, boom, we have a faster and more smooth camera movement. If you want your movement to be even faster, you can just move that right keyframe closer and we'll get faster camera movement just like that. Boom, that looks pretty cool too. So just mess around with it. If you want to go even farther, you can just go into the graph editor and you can adjust some of those keyframes directly from there. But I think it looks pretty good for now. Now we're going to add the actual bulge effect, which is going to like really tie in this effect. We're going to go back to our effects and we're going to search for bulge, hence the name, and I'm going to drag this to our second clip layer. Now I'm going to hit the drop down on our bulge so we can see what we're doing right here. Let's go ahead. You're going to see this little circle in the middle. This is basically the radius that we're affecting. I'm just going to scale this up by dragging these points till it covers the good majority of the screen. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to make sure at the very beginning of your clip, by the way, and let's go ahead and hit a keyframe at this bulge height. And by the way, I'm so sorry guys, I meant to scroll forward on our timeline so we can actually see what we're editing with here. But yeah, this is the actual bulge effects, and now you can see everything's a lot more bulgy. I was actually just viewing the first clip right there. My bad. Anyways, let's go to the very beginning of our clip and hit a keyframe at the bulge height. Now you're not going to be able to see anything because we're at the very beginning of the clip, but we're going to turn this down to like negative 0.8. You're just gonna have to trust me with this one. Just trust, it's gonna be cool. So now you can see we're at negative 0.8 when the thing pops down, and let's go a couple frames after and turn it up to like 0.5. Let's do 0.7. And then I'm going to go a couple keyframes after that, and I'm going to change the bulge height back to 0. Boom, just like that. Now you can see we have this nice like bulge warp effect. It makes everything feel a lot more bouncier. And by the way, one thing I do want to mention, if you ever run into this issue, like you have some edges right here that are showing and you have your transparent background, what you can do to fix this is just go to your transform. By the way, go to the very end, hit a keyframe on the scale, and then go to the parts where it's like showing the background. And I just want you to basically just zoom in a bunch with your scale, and then basically the transform is going to hide that effect. So it's zooming in a little bit just to hide that effect. So fortunately we didn't run into that error with this effect, but that's just a cool easy fix. Now it's time to add all the fun sauce and the last finishing touches. First up, we're going to start off with our VR chromatic aberrations. These are always a fun go-to. Just add some nice like glitch to it. What I recommend doing is changing the red to about -6 and then the blue to +6, so we don't have too much glitch. If you want, you can go ahead and of course actually drag your chromatic aberration before your transform and before your glow, so that the chromatic aberrations are actually being affected by the glow. So that's kind of cool as well. What we're going to be doing is we're just going to hit a keyframe at, let's go ahead and like right when it pops in right here, I'm going to hit a keyframe at the red and blue, and then I'm going to go all the way to the end of our clip, and I'm just going to change these down to 0. So then that way we have like some chromatic aberrations in the beginning, and then they just go away. Now, if you like the effect already, you can leave it just at that. But if you want to take it the extra step, you can of course go ahead and add a lumetri color to the effect as well. And we can just mess around with some color and hue and saturation to make the effect look a lot more fun and vibrant. So I'm gonna hit the drop down on our color, and I'm going to hit a keyframe at temperature. By the way, I'm at the very end of our effect, so when everything looks normal. And then I'm going to also hit the drop down on creative and hit the keyframe on split toning. I'm going to go to the very beginning of our clip. I'm going to change the shadow tint to blue, highlight tint to blue, and then I'm also going to change the temperature to like a really hard blue as well. So that way when we play it out, boom, everything starts off as blue and then it just becomes normal. And with that, guys, there you have it, a nice easy bouncy camera shake transition. I will be linking to this project file down below completely for free, just as a token of my gratitude for you guys watching. But if you want to save yourself some more time easily inside of Premiere Pro and not have to like repeat all these effects each time you want to do a camera shake, we actually have our ultimate camera shake it up V2 pack linked below in the description. There we have like 50 different presets of a bunch of different iterations of camera shakes like this. They work on HD resolution sequences, and they're all just just drag and drop easy. So if you want to spice up your music videos with a bunch more camera shakes, I definitely recommend checking out. Thanks again so much for watching. Leave a comment down below if you had any questions, and we'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Peace.